title, The Secret of Starlight Valley. Once upon a time, in a peaceful land far away, there was a hidden valley known only to a few. This place was called Starlight Valley because each night the sky above it shimmered with stars that danced like fireflies. Surrounded by majestic mountains that cradled it, the valley was a serene sanctuary filled with lush greenery and blooming wildflowers. The air was always fragrant with the scent of fresh blossoms and soft grass, inviting the locals to share stories beneath the twinkling night sky. In this enchanted valley lived a young girl named Alara. With curly golden hair and eyes like emeralds, Alara had a heart full of wonder. She lived with her grandmother, Nana Marable, in a cozy wooden cottage nestled against a backdrop of whispering trees. The walls of their home were adorned with climbing vines and flowers in every color, making it look like a fairy tale abode. Alara spent her days exploring the valley, each corner a canvas for her imagination. Nana Marable was known for her magical garden, where flowers hummed soft lullabies and trees whispered ancient secrets to those who listened closely. Each morning, Alara would wake to the gentle melodies of the garden coming alive, filling her heart with joy. Nana Marable lovingly tended to her collection of enchanted herbs and vibrant blossoms, each with its own story, using her gnarled, weathered hands. But one day, everything changed. The stars stopped dancing. The night sky grew dim, and a strange silence settled over Starlight Valley. Even the humming flowers had gone quiet. Villagers began to worry. Their laughter was replaced with whispers of fear. The usual vibrancy of the valley seemed dulled, and Alara noticed that rustling leaves were eerily still, as if holding their breath in anticipation of what was to come. Nana Marable's worry was palpable. "This hasn't happened in 100 years," she whispered, her voice trembling. Alara could see the worry lines deepening on her grandmother's face, and a knot of determination twist Ed in her stomach. "What can we do, Nana?" she asked, hope shining in her emerald eyes. With a small smile, Nana Marable replied, "We must seek the reason behind this darkness." That night, Alara packed a small satchel with a lantern, a notebook, a quill, and a warm scarf. She tiptoed out of the cottage and began her journey across the valley under the silver glow of the moon. crisp night air enveloped her like a warm blanket, and she felt a spark of courage ignite within her as the familiar paths transformed into a realm of mystery. Alara crossed the silver stream, where the water shimmered like 1,000 diamonds under the moonlight, and tiptoed past the sleeping foxes nestled into the earth. She climbed Moonrise Hill, where the stars usually shone brightest. But to her dismay, the sky remained still, a vast canvas of inky darkness. Taking a deep breath, feeling the weight of the silence, she refused to be discouraged. As she sat in contemplation, she heard a faint rustling in the grass. A tiny creature emerged. It had fur like twilight and eyes like glowing sapphires. It looked at her with curious eyes, and Alara felt a strange connection. "Who are you?" Alara whispered softly, afraid to startle it. "I'm a star keeper," the creature replied in a voice like tinkling bells. "My name is Luma. I guard the paths of the stars, but something has stolen their sparkle, and now I need your help." The creature's fur glistened in the starlight that was no longer there, illuminating its delicate features and making Alara's heart race with exhilaration. Alara's eyes widened with excitement and determination. "Can we find it? Can we bring the stars back?" she asked. Luma's expression turned serious as he nodded solemnly. "Yes, but we must be brave. The darkness that stole the light hides in the forgotten forest, a place where few dare to tread." Alara agreed without hesitation, her heart racing. Together, they ventured deeper into the valley, toward the edge where the trees grew tall and twisted like ancient giants. Their gnarled branches stretched out like bony fingers. The forest loomed ahead, its depths shrouded in mystery, drawing Alara with an irresistible pull. The forgotten forest was thick with mist and mystery. Strange sounds echoed around them, rustling leaves and distant calls that sent shivers down Alara's spine. Shadows loomed and danced between towering trees, but Luma's gentle light cut through the darkness, guiding them forward. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and forgotten secrets, and Alara could feel the weight of her mission pressing on her. Luma glowed gently, illuminating their path as they moved forward. "The darkness feeds on fear," he said, his tiny voice steady. light and courage can lead us through these woods. Alara felt the hero within her rising to the challenge, her resolve firm as they pushed past the creeping shadows. They came upon a glade where the air felt heavy and still, thick with a sense of something lost. Weeds curled around the stones, and in the center was a stone altar with a broken crystal, its pieces glinting faintly. Luma whispered as he floated closer. This was the star crystal. Without it, the stars cannot dance or shine. Alara approached the crystal with a sense of reverence. As she touched it, a vision filled her mind, stars falling from the sky, caught in a swirling shadow, their lights siphoned away. The image haunted her, and she felt a surge of determination. "We must fix this," she declared, her voice steady. "We must gather the fallen stardust and mend the crystal," Luma said, an eager spark in his sapphire eyes. Alara felt the weight of their task, but also a flicker of hope reigniting within her. With Luma's guidance, she felt ready for the challenge ahead. Alara and Luma began their quest to restore the crystal. They traveled to the Whispering Mountains, where stardust was hidden in shimmering snowflakes that caught the moonlight. The terrain was rugged, and each step seemed to echo with the memories of ages past. The mountains telling stories of resilience. They climbed icy peaks and slid down frozen slopes, laughter mixing with the crisp winds as they embraced the thrill of adventure. With each handful of stardust gathered, the crystal shard in Alara's satchel glowed brighter, charging her with newfound hope. She could feel the energy of the valley pulsing beneath her feet, urging her on. Next, they journeyed to the Golden Caves, where echoes of star songs hid more stardust among the glinting walls. The air was warm, filled with the scent of the earth and treasure. Alara could feel the magic humming around them, intertwining with her dreams, pushing her forward to uncover the secrets hidden within. Inside the caves, they sang to the walls, their voices weaving together like a spell. The music reverberated, and upon reaching the cavern's heart, glowing specks revealed themselves, floating into their hands like tiny dreams made real. Alara couldn't help but smile, feeling the warmth of fulfillment wrapping around her heart. Finally, they went to the Sky Mirror Lake, where the the stars once danced in reflection. There, they found the last of the stardust, floating like pollen on the water's surface, glimmering softly under the crescent moon. Alara knelt by the lake, the coolness of the water reflecting the warmth in her chest, and scooped the shimmering dust into her palms. With all the stardust gathered, Alara and Lumer returned to the glade. They placed the dust upon the broken crystal, hearts racing with anticipation. The stillness in the air shifted, filled with a sense of awakening, as if the valley itself was holding its breath, waiting for the magic to unfold. The ground trembled gently as the crystal absorbed the stardust, and light burst forth from its heart, rising like a fountain of stars into the sky. It illuminated the surroundings, painting the glade in hues of silver and gold. Alara couldn't contain her joy as she watched the magic unfold. It felt as if the whole valley rejoiced with her. One by one, the stars returned to their dance. The sky sparkled once again, and Starlight Valley glowed with renewed magic. The flowers began to hum softly, harmonizing with the chorus of the returning stars, while the trees whispered tales of bravery, old and new. Alara basked in the warmth of the moment, feeling connected to every part of her valley. As the stars twinkled above, the forest grew quiet and peaceful, wrapped in a gentle hush. The darkness that had once stolen the light slinked back into the shadows, retreating forever, never to return. Alara and Luma stood together in the clearing, their hearts bursting with triumph and relief. They knew deep inside that they had restored the harmony and magic that once filled the valley, bringing back the sparkle to the night sky and peace to their home. Alara and Luma watched in awe as the constellations slowly reformed above them, each star shining brighter and more vibrant than before. They wove themselves into new shapes and stored as dragons and fairies, brave heroes and wise old sages, creating a tapestry of legends across the expansive sky. Alara pointed excitedly, her eyes shining with joy, and laughed as fireflies danced around her, their tiny bodies flickering like stars themselves. The night stretched out endlessly, full of possibility and wonder, as if the universe was opening a new chapter just for them. In that moment, Alara realized they had not only rekindled the stars, but it also reignited the very spirit of the valley, the magic, hope, and dreams that made it special. "You've done it," Luma said softly, a sparkle of pride lighting up his tiny face. His voice was gentle but full of admiration. "You've brought the light back not just to the sky, but to the hearts of everyone who lives here. The darkness has faded, and with it, the fears and shadows that once hid in the corners of our world." Alara felt warm tears of joy well up in her eyes as she looked at her small but brave friend. She reached out and gently hugged him, feeling grateful beyond words for the friendship they had forged through their shared adventure. The stars above shimmered in agreement, twinkling more brightly than ever, as if celebrating their victory. Alara paused, her gaze drifting upward to the glowing sky, and then she smiled deeply. But her heart knew that her journey was far from over. She turned to Luma and said passionately, "I want everyone to know what we've learned, that courage and kindness can light even the darkest night. I want to tell our story so that others will believe in the power of hope and bravery." Her voice was full of determination. She imagined her friends, her family, and even strangers from distant lands listening to her tales, feeling inspired to face their own fears and chase their dreams. She knew that sharing her story could help spread the magic far beyond the borders of the valley. Together, they made their way back to the cozy cottage nestled at the edge of the woods. As they approached, they saw Nana Marable waiting patiently on the porch, her face warm and welcoming. She greeted them with open arms and a steaming cup of herbal tea, her eyes twinkling with love and curiosity. The garden around the cottage was alive, once more flowers humming gentle lullabies, trees whispering their ancient secrets, and the air filled with the sweet scent of blooming blossoms. Inside, the cottage was filled with warmth and comfort, the walls adorned with colorful tapestries and hanging lanterns. Alara eagerly shared her adventure, her words bubbling over with excitement. Her voice filled every corner of their home, turning the simple evening into a celebration of bravery, hope, and magic. The stories flowed like a river, carrying everyone along on a wave of wonder and delight. Alara pulled out her treasured notebook, the one she had carried with her on her journey. She opened it carefully and began to write, her hand moving swiftly confidently. Page after page, she poured out the story, the tale of the stars, the shadow that stole their sparkle, and the hope that triumphed through courage and friendship. Her words became like a shimmering stream, each stroke of her quill capturing the magic she had experienced. She wrote not only for herself, but for all the dreamers, children and adults alike, who longed for stories of hope and adventure. Her pen danced across the pages, turning her memories into a treasure that would inspire generations to come. Over time, her stories found their way beyond the valley. Children from nearby villages and distant towns came to listen to her tales by the fire. They sat cross-legged on blankets, their faces glowing in the flickering light, eyes wide with wonder and curiosity. Alara wove her words like a master weaver, creating vibrant tapestries of color and hope stories of stars, bravery, friendship, and magic that connected everyone in the warmth of her storytelling. Her voice was like a gentle melody, echoing through the night and filling hearts with courage and dreams. Alara became known far and wide as the star scribe, a storyteller whose tales carried the magic of Starlight Valley across mountains and seas. Travelers carried her stories in their hearts, sharing them with others wherever they went. Each retelling made the magic stronger, and the hope in her words grew brighter. Her stories inspired countless others to believe in their own adventures, to find the courage to face fears, and to light their own paths. The legend of Alara and her tale spread, weaving itself into the fabric of many lives, reminding everyone that within each of us lies a spark of magic waiting to be kindled. But Alara's spirit of exploration never waned. With Luma always by her side, she continued to seek out new magical places, uncovering mysteries hidden in the world around her. Each new quest blossomed with the promise of discovery and adventure. They traveled across rolling hills, through dense forests, and over shimmering lakes, always guided by their friendship and curiosity. Every step brought new stories, new friends, and new lessons about bravery, kindness, and the magic that dwelled within everyone's heart. Alara knew that the greatest magic was not just in the stars or crystals, but in the kindness and courage she shared with others. She visited the rainfall meadows, where clouds whispered songs forgotten by time, and the firefly fields, where tiny lights flickered like dreams, illuminating the night with their gentle glow. She listened to the stories the wind carried, collected treasures of wisdom, and gathered stories like shining gems each, one a reminder that magic exists everywhere, waiting to be found by those willing to look and listen. Alara's heart swelled with gratitude, knowing that every adventure brought her closer to understanding her own true strength and the endless possibilities in the world. In every place she traveled, she helped those in need with her. It was guiding a lost traveler back home, encouraging a shy child to speak their dreams, or lighting a small candle in the darkness to show that hope still shines. Alara became a beacon of hope and kindness, her smile a shining light that brightened even the darkest paths. Her gentle words and brave deeds inspired others to be kind, brave, and generous, spreading a wave of goodness that rippled through the land. Years passed, but the memory of her first great quest and the star crystal never faded. The crystal remained safe in the glade, shining softly like a heartbeat of hope. It was a symbol of the bravery, kindness, and light she had discovered within herself and shared with the world. Whenever she returned to the valley, the warmth of nostalgia and pride washed over her. She remembered how far she had come, from a curious girl exploring wildflowers to a storyteller inspiring generations. Every year, on the longest night of the year, the valley gathered for the Festival of Stars. Lanterns floated up into the sky, carrying wishes of hope and dreams of tomorrow. The hills echoed with songs and laughter, uniting everyone in joyous celebration. Alara would stand before the gathered crowd, sharing her stories and adventures, her voice full of pride and love. Her eyes sparkled like the stars themselves as she watched children and elders alike rejoice, their faces lit with wonder and hope. In those moments, she knew that her stories had become a part of the valley's heartbeat. Alara, now a wise and gentle woman, stood beside the star crystal, its light shining softly, and reminded everyone of an important truth. Even in the darkest times, a single light of kindness, courage, and hope can lead the way. Her voice was steady and inspiring as she encouraged the next generation to embrace their own adventures, to believe in themselves, and to carry the magic forward. Her words planted seeds of bravery in young hearts, nurturing a legacy of hope that would bloom for many years to come. Luma, still glowing with gentle light, fluttered above the crowd, whispering softly, "Keep the stars in your hearts." His voice was like a lullaby, wrapping everyone in a warm, magical embrace. His words filled the air with wonder and possibility, reminding all that magic is not just in the stars, but in the kindness and dreams we carry inside us. As the festival continued into the night, the bond between the villagers, children, and the magic of the valley grew stronger, united by shared dreams and a love for adventure. Children looked up at the starry sky, inspired to seek their own quests, to dream big, and to be brave. They exchanged eager glances, their laughter ringing through the air as they plotted their future adventures. Each of them carried within a tiny spark of the Star Keeper's spirit, waiting patiently to shine brightly when called upon. They knew that they too could make a difference, just as Alara had done. And deep at the heart of the valley, the flowers hummed softly, the trees whispered ancient songs, and the stars danced with renewed brilliance, proof that one girl's daring belief had sparked a legacy of hope and magic. The light she nurtured in her heart, the light of kindness, courage, and dreams never dimmed. It was a shining testament to how a single act of bravery could ripple outward, changing the world in ways beyond imagination. Alara's treasured book, The Secret of Starlight Valley, became a beloved legend, passed from hand to hand, from generation to generation. Each reader found themselves transported to a wondrous world where magic thrived, dreams blossomed, and courage could brighten even the darkest night. Every story inspired a new wave of hope, kindness, and adventure, an enduring legacy of the girl who believed in the impossible. The legend of Alara and her tales lived on, not only in words, but in the hearts of those who carried her stories forward. Young and old gathered around fires, sharing their own stories of bravery and kindness, each one infused with the same spirit of adventure that Alara had ignited. They understood that they too could create their own magic, lighting the world with their dreams and deeds. One day, a curious new child wandered into the valley, full of wonder and eager to explore. They found the glade where the star crystal pulsed softly with enchanting light, shimmering with magic. The child stood in awe, feeling an inexplicable connection to the valley and its secrets, as if the very land was calling them home. Their heart fluttered with excitement and curiosity, ready to begin their own story. The child gently touched the crystal, and a spark of magic leapt to their fingertips. Their heart pounded with the realization that they were part of a story much larger than themselves, an endless adventure waiting to unfold. The next chapter was ready to begin, bursting with dreams and possibilities, waiting for someone brave enough to chase them. Luma appeared once more, smiling warmly, his gentle presence guiding the child. "Welcome, little one. The stars have chosen you," he whispered softly. With those words, a new adventure unfurled before them, filled with friendship, courage, and the wondrous paths of the stars. The journey of discovery had just begun, and the magic of the valley was eager to embrace the new dreamer. And so the story continued, each new tale adding a thread to the vibrant tapestry of Starlight Valley. With every step, with every brave heart that believed, the stars shone brighter, lighting the way for countless dreamers to follow. In Starlight Valley, the stars will always shine for those who dare to dream, a shining reminder that within each of us lies a light waiting to be share-ed with the world, that magic, hope, and kindness are the true treasures, eternal and everlasting. The end, or perhaps just the beginning of a new chapter. The valley will always welcome those with open hearts, ready to learn, to share, and to dare to dream. Its magic will never fade as long as there are dreamers willing to believe and act. The stars will keep shining, guiding everyone toward a future filled with wonder, courage, and endless possibility.